everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. It is Friday evening, and we have been watching some showers and storms that have been developing out there, starting off late this afternoon and into the early evening hours. Things are calming down pretty nicely out there right now. We still have a few showers and storms that we're keeping an eye on here in parts of northeast Georgia. Those will soon be falling apart as they've been kind of moving in over some of the mountains there and in parts of northeast Georgia there in North Hall County, parts of White County. Some of that heavier rain and lightning is still coming down, but things are really calming down in the Atlanta area. We had a lot of rain in spots. Not everybody got hit by those showers today, but the ones who did get some of that rain were hit hard with some heavy rain. In fact, we did have a flash flood warning that was in effect for areas just south of Atlanta, but just about 10 minutes ago, the National Weather Service canceled that flash flood warning. It was originally supposed to be in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning when it was issued, and we did a special extended outlook here at just after 7 o'clock tonight. I was telling you that I really thought that it would most likely be canceled before the 1 o'clock expiration time. And again, they just did that around 8:50 tonight. They canceled that flash flood warning there on the south side. But take a look at what we were watching earlier. We had some showers and storms around the metro area. We had some there in North Fulton that we were tracking for you just after 7 o'clock as well. That had a lot of thunder and lightning with them and pockets of heavy rain. We still have a little bit of light rain over in parts of West Georgia. This is also where we had some clusters of those heavier showers. But what's happening is we're losing some of that afternoon heating, and that's one of the fuels for the generation or to help trigger some of these showers and storms to develop out there, and we're now losing some of that heating, and things are starting to calm down just a little bit more, but still some spotty areas of light rain, some of that moving up into parts of Gwinnett County as well. Here's a look at what we were watching earlier. Again, in the city of Atlanta, we had a pretty good coverage of those heavier showers earlier. This here is a 6-hour loop, which will show you some of those showers on the north side of town. And then this here is where we had heavy rain that developed just south of I-20. And between Atlanta and Forest Park, we had a good coverage of rain around, and that is what prompted that flash flood warning earlier tonight. But again, that was just canceled at 8:50. But the reason we had that flash flood warning, our Doppler radar can estimate how much rain has fallen. And look at this purple color right here in the Constitution area. That is where we had some of those rainfall amounts between 2 and 3 inches. You can see some of those Doppler radar estimates here. 2.8 inches here on the north part of this, 2.2 in the Constitution area, 1.7 right there along, right there at 75. And right there at the downtown connector there is it splitting, and then almost 3 inches along 75 and 85 as well. So really heavy rain in that part of town. And the problem was there were really high rainfall rates, meaning a lot of rain falling in a short period of time. And there was so much rain coming down, the runoff wasn't happening as quickly, and we did have some spots where there was some flash flooding there on the south side. But once that rain ended, we were still watching some areas of possible water rising due to all of that runoff, but now things have settled down. We don't see any flood risks there, and the National Weather Service, as we mentioned, has canceled that warning. Now, we also had impressive rainfall totals here out along I-20 with pockets of heavy rain, thunder and lightning there. That has fallen apart now. We were watching this in North Fulton a little bit earlier that had heavy rain with it. That has fallen apart now too. And then also these showers back into parts of West Georgia. Some of that was coming out of Alabama. They would die out. Then additional storms would develop to the east side of that. And we were watching all that, and most of those are dying out too. But speaking of our rainfall estimates, we have seen some spots with some impressive rainfall totals, especially back here along the Georgia-Alabama line there around Bowden. Now, this is a 24-hour total, so really this takes into account some showers that happened earlier today and then again later on this evening. We're having some spots there with close to 3 inches of rain right at the Georgia and Alabama line. You can see here back into parts of Cleveland County, some spots picking up right around 2 inches of rain. And then we also have been watching that one up in North Fulton County. That's what we were tracking for you just after 7 o'clock tonight, is that storm there had some heavy rain with it, and it really wasn't moving. We were just waiting for it to rain itself out, and it finally did. But we even have this purple and even some reddish color right here where it was indicating more than 3 inches of rain in some spots between Roswell and Milton, really not far from the Alpharetta area. And then the blue color surrounding that is where we had numerous areas with more than 1 inch of rain. And then this from Swanee, some purple there, and also near the Lawrenceville area, there were some individual localized areas that had another spots of 2 to 3 inches of rain that fell in those spots. So some good rain totals in areas. And then check this one out. This is up to the north in parts of Bartow County. Here's Cartersville right there. Emerson here's right along 75. This is all near and north of the Lake Allatoona area. Look at this red color here, indicating some rainfall totals that were around 3.5 inches north of Emerson. The purple surrounding that was between 2 and 3, and then the blue color outside of that is where we had close to 1 inch of rain. So there are just some individual bullseyes in some spots where we got some of that heavy rain, and just these storms that would just blossom up and not really move that much and just dump a lot of water in the same areas before they would finally rain themselves out. So there again is that area to the west where everything's falling apart. Here in the metro area, things are a lot calmer. And again, that's what we were telling you earlier tonight, that we were thinking during the evening hours that most of these showers would be dying out. Now, there's one area that we're still watching in northeast Georgia where we still have some rain with thunder and lightning there. This up 85 toward the South Carolina line, near areas of Franklin County, that is all falling apart. We still have some showers over in parts of Elbert County. And then these up to the north here, this in North Hall, moving into parts of White County, a little bit of Habersham County there, we have some heavier rain. Let me get in closer to that again so you can see these areas here that we're watching. Southern parts of White County. So here's Helen here. Cleveland is about right here. There's Mossy Creek. So we have some of that heavier rain with thunder and lightning in this part of White County, moving into the northern parts of Hall County. Some of these showers here near Dahlonega with some thunder and lightning. That count is coming down. And then also around Lula. In eastern parts of Hall County, moving into Banks County right here, and also parts of Habersham County just south of Cornelia, where we still have some of that heavy rain and thunder and lightning, where those have just been developing, and they should be raining themselves out pretty soon too. As we're losing the heat of the day, one of the ingredients needed to blossom some of these storms that we have around. So much quieter for the rest of the evening hours. Here's a live look right now. Truist Park. There's a big, one of the All-Star weekend celebrations is going on there tonight. This is the HBCU Swingman Classic that's taking place right now. And it's you see some of the people there, but I know a lot of folks were concerned about any rain for the game tonight, you know, because all it takes is for just one of those showers to park over one area to ruin it. And thank goodness they had a couple of showers around Truist a little bit earlier tonight, but so far everything for the event tonight has been going pretty well there. There's going to be a lot more stuff going on this weekend. I'm going to break that down for you coming up in just a little bit too. And then here's a live look from our Georgia Tech Tower Cam here, looking over the city. Things are looking nice here. We had some rain over the city a little bit earlier. And then here's our Tower Cam from Arizona Avenue over in parts of DeKalb County near Decatur, looking back toward the city. Everything's looking good here, and even some breaks in those clouds as the sun went down at 8:50 tonight, but you can still see some of that light there as we have a really high camera on this antenna or a tower, and is able to kind of still see some of that sunshine there breaking through some of the clouds. Now, here's what we're watching for All-Star Week, and notice the Swingman Classic going on right now. Rain chances are on the lower end now as we're now into the later nighttime hours. Tomorrow in the heat of the day at 4 o'clock, there is a Futures and Celebrity game at Truist. And that's where we're going to be pretty hot there with temperatures that are going to be in the 90s. There's about a 30% chance for an isolated shower there for tomorrow. And then 20% chances for rain Monday and Tuesday. These events, the Home Run Derby and also the actual All-Star Game. Those are going to be in the evening hour, so temperatures will be in the 80s for that. But it's going to be rather muggy night out there. And again, 20% chance for a shower. May not be rain-free, but there could be a couple of showers that develop. Whether or not they're going to be right on top of Truist Park, it's just one of those situations where we'll just have to wait and see about that. 93 degrees was our high temperature today. Our low this morning was 73. Those temperatures trending a little bit above the average. The record 101. So we weren't near a record or anything. And then check out the rainfall. Now, even though some of you got a lot of rain, if one of those showers parked on you, like we showed you some of those rainfall amounts in some spots between 2 and 3 inches. Well, at Hartsfield-Jackson, we picked up 8/100ths of an inch of rain. So we have a deficit again of about 1900ths of an inch below where we should be. Temperatures were interesting out there today as we started off in those mild 70s. We started climbing during the day, got up to 89 at 1, then back to 87 at 2, 92 at 3. That's when we had those temperatures get up to 93 after the 3 o'clock hour, 90 at 4 and 5. Then the rain came, and near and over Hartsfield-Jackson, that dropped us from 90 to 80 between 5 and 6. Then we went back to 83, and now we've been holding at 81 here for the past couple of hours. So just kind of mild and muggy at this hour. And you can see in Atlanta, we're holding at 81. Elsewhere, temperatures are generally in the 70s, except for Athens, you're 80, Gainesville, 81. They didn't see as much rain in Gainesville and Athens earlier, and they held in the 90s a little bit longer. So their evening has taken a little bit longer to cool things down there. But in Atlanta, we had the rain, and then we just went up another degree. 73 in the morning will be our low temperature. Then we get up to 92 in the afternoon. And it's going to be in those afternoon hours where we see that chance for a few of those scattered showers that could develop here. But again, that rain chance is only going to be at about 30%. So here's the forecast track. Any lingering showers are going to be diminishing here for the rest of the evening hours. And then by tomorrow morning, it's really going to be a pretty nice start today. It's going to be mild and muggy in the morning. If you're getting up early to play golf or go jogging, just know it's going to be a humid start to the day with those mild temperatures, but it's going to be dry. And then through the lunchtime hour, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. And then here we go in the afternoon. We will once again see scattered showers developing, but we don't think those scattered showers will be as widespread as what we had today. And not that today's were widespread, but just not as much coverage of those showers that'll be scattered here in our area for your Saturday. And then on Sunday, as of right now, we're going with a 20% chance for a shower. We may fine-tune that into the weekend to bring that up a little bit more, maybe to 30% on Sunday. The latest modeling is trying to kick up a few additional showers, but I want to wait till we get in another run of the models before we bring those rain chances up anymore here for your Sunday. Nicole Hartford will be here in the morning. She'll have the latest on that, and we'll decide whether or not we need to bring that up too. But again, nothing really major. A lot of us will get through the weekend really without seeing any rain at all, but then there'll be some folks who get those scattered showers. It just all depends on where they decide to pop up. And in meteorology right now, I wish we knew exactly the exact time and the exact location where one of those will bubble up, but we just don't have that ability yet. Hopefully our models will improve over the years to help us with that. But again, on Monday, mainly dry day, only a 20% chance for a shower late in the day. So here's a look at these percentages. 30% for Saturday, 20% Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, then 30% on Wednesday. And here's the forecast track. And when you're looking at this, you'll notice the mornings are dry. Then in the afternoon, we see some green showing up, indicating those afternoon showers. Dry in the morning on Sunday, and then in the afternoon, not a lot of rain around. We're just going with a 20% chance right now. And then on Monday, pretty similar situation, 20% chance for a shower. Same thing on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I do think we'll see a little more of that green coming in with that 30% chance for showers, and we'll hold on to that 30% chance on Thursday as well as into Friday as well. Maybe bringing it up a little bit more by next Friday when we get some new model data in. And look at the temperatures, lower 90s tomorrow. As the rain chances come down a little bit, the temperatures go up 95 Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, then back to 93 here on Wednesday. So here's that 7-day outlook where you've got that 30% chance for showers Saturday and a high of 92, and then a 20% chance for showers Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. with those temperatures around the mid-90s, back to a 30% chance for showers on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's when those temperatures trend down a little bit back to the lower 90s. Thanks for watching this extended update here on 11 Alive Plus and Weather Impact 24/7. We'll have more updates for you throughout the weekend. Nicole Hartford is going to be here in the morning on Saturday. Danielle Moss will be in the afternoon. Same schedule for them on Sunday morning and afternoon as well. So thanks for tuning in. More updates to come right here from the 11 Alive Weather Impact team.